years, maybe we don't understand something. Because I like to work at one place for long. But Joy FM, no, he's gone. Then Fourth Estate is gone. So that's why I saw Suleiman Brahma doing the presentation himself on the national service thing. Yeah, it's a problem. Okay, producer, let's restart the Fenyo marking one. Now, this is the letter. It's written on 18th February. Honorable John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Jubilee House, Accra. Your Excellency, revocation of appointment and recruitment made after 7 December. Now, this thing is a problem, and I'm happy that the Supreme Court is going to hear it. And on the Supreme Court matter, I really want to hear the opinion of Justice Yoni Kulendi, Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Amadou Tanko, Gabriel Poaman, and the Lord CJ herself. The Constitution is clear that the mandate of the president is from some time to some time. Then Chief of Staff writes a letter that after 7 December, is the Chief of Staff the Constitution? What are we doing in Ghana? The Chief of Staff can amend the Constitution. When the Constitution says the mandate of a president begins here and ends here, Chief of Staff writes a letter that all recruitments done in the name of the president after 7 December is illegal. 7 December is the date the Constitution gave. I'm waiting to hear what the Supreme Court will say about this. And I want to hear what Justice Kulendi has to say about this. That the Chief of Staff says that he is changing the Constitution so that the mandate of the government no longer ends on 7 January, but the mandate of the government ends on 7 December. Now, here is a Chief of Staff who has ever penciled a letter appointing Dom Levo on 6th of January 2017. That Chief of Staff comes to tell us that now he's forgotten about that the mandate of the government ends on 7 December. The Supreme Court will have to tell us where we are on this matter. It is coming, and apparently they filed some documents today. By next week, it's fully filed. 9 members of the Supreme Court panel must tell us whether a president, a chief of staff, a chief executive who is over 60 years old. Now I'm coming to that story. Chief executives have been appointed who are over 60 years old. I've written a letter to a former Shraj commissioner to answer for me. He says he will come back to me tomorrow. A former Shraj commissioner. That, boss, 60-year-old can be appointed. People who are over 60 have been appointed by the president into positions. Over 60-year-olds. There's a lot coming. A whole lot. All right. Revocation of appointments and recruitment made after 7 December. I extend my warmest regards to you in the spirit of our shared commitment to the progress of Ghana, and with the utmost respect for your esteemed office. I write to express deep concerns regarding the recent revocation of appointments of public servants across key institutions in the country, following directives issued by the Chief of Staff. In a letter dated 10th February, the reference. Your Excellency, the 1992 Constitution of Ghana is unambiguous in its protection of public sector workers. Article 191 guarantees job security for public servants, ensuring that no individual is dismissed arbitrarily. Article 296 demands that discretionary powers be exercised fairly, while Article 23 upholds the principles that the administrative decisions must be just, reasonable, and devoid of capriciousness. The Labour Act 2003 at 651, alongside the Public Services Commission Act 1994, further reinforces these safeguards by mandating due process in employment matters. These mass dismissals conducted without individualized assessment or adherence to legal protocols appear to contravene these foundational legal principles and erode public trust and confidence in our state institutions. It is also important to recognize that the recruitment into public office is a structured process rather than a single event. As such, dismissing individuals solely based on their appointment dates disregards the procedural integrity of the recruitment. In many cases, many of those who received their appointments after 7 December 2024 had already begun the recruitment process well in advance, some as early as June 2024. They went through rigorous procedures, including aptitude tests, medical examinations, and other institutional requirements. Having successfully completed these steps and met all necessary criteria, they were rightfully given appointment. It is therefore unfair and unjust to dismiss individuals solely based on their appointment dates, disregarding the merit-based process they underwent. Moreover, Your Excellency, this development stands in stark contrast to the vision you passionately articulated during your inauguration on the 7th of January 2025. You pledged to lead a Ghana that prioritizes inclusivity, national unity, economic empowerment. Your flagship policy of a 24-hour economy was widely endorsed as a beacon of hope for young people seeking employment and economic security. It is therefore deeply disappointing that rather than expanding job opportunities, your administration is now overseeing a wave of terminations, displacing hard-working Ghanaians from their existing livelihoods. This not only contradicts your government's stated economic goals, but also risk deepening public mistrust in the administration's commitment to job creation. Your Excellency, history reminds us of your principal stance on this very issue. In May 2017, you condemned similar dismissals by the previous administration, blah, 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 blah. It continues, Your Excellency, I respectfully draw your attention to the Supreme Court's landmark decision in Ghana Center for Democratic Development and Others versus Attorney General, delivered by Justice Amegache, JSC, where the court reaffirmed that the politically motivated removal of public servants violates constitutional principles. This judgment emphasizes that such dismissals undermine due process and constitutional rights of public servants. The current wave of termination embodies the same unconstitutional overreach that the court sought to correct. Your Excellency, in the light of the foregoing, I respectfully urge you to consider the following to uphold constitutional principles and fairness. Withdrawal, the Chief Justice's letter, etc., etc., etc. That's Alexander Afenyomarkin to the President. But I am confused about how a letter from the presidency will be writing something in contravention of the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. I mean, not complicated things that the Supreme Court must interpret, but very straightforward, a matter of dates. Provided for in the 1992 Constitution, a letter emanates from the presidency and is seeking to amend the Constitution. When the government of President Mahama has been in government before, and whilst in government before, they had conducted similar work. Not just that, President Mahama has also been in opposition, and whilst in opposition, he filed writs at the courts seeking an interpretation of this process. And those decisions were given in his favor, which Afenyomarkin refers to, Donko and the Attorney General, and then CDD and the Attorney General. So how does a letter come out and it says we are changing anything done after 7 December is inconsequential to the governance of Ghana. 7 December is consequential to the Electoral Commission and the people of Ghana who change every 4 years. So that date, 7 December, in the election year, which is an election day, it's inconsequential to the authority of the President of Ghana, so elected under Article 58. There's no problem with it. But let's see what happens. We should watch this space. Please bring the young men in. Let's have an interview. So NUGS are complaining. They say that their results are being withheld by WAEC without WAEC telling them, and individual results are being withheld by WAEC without WAEC telling them why the results are being withheld, and they have to saddle themselves with going to rewrite a paper when they don't know why they have to rewrite the paper. Let's take our text messages and settle down with them right now. Who should I start with in the text message? Mister, what are people?
Thank you very much, Paul. From Yao Kwa Brides, thank you for the amazing job. Keep on your excellent analysis. With time frame, the truth shall be enlightened to all Ghanaians. That when you lie to people for power, your gesture would be shown. From Yao February, Mr. Tanko's assertion about the US aids is nothing but naive and their usual propaganda. From Mohammed Yusufa, what did Tanko really say that, oh, what a shame, does he not follow international news? And from Banawa Vistus, how would the president showing up in the negotiation table pay my bills? And lastly, from Abdul Rahman, guy in black, Mahama has to set a committee to know the amount she bought the bag. Over to you, Anzaba.
Okay, from Ali Umar, he says, Paul. In fact, I used to respect Mr. Ransford Jampo so much, but now I feel shamed to even mention his name in front of my student colleagues. Mwan Zong says, Ransford Jampo and Austin Gami are rather making fun of Ghanaians, and God is watching them. Real Max V says, Apostle Paul. So is it that what Prof. Jampo was using his UTAG for? Is that what Prof. Jampo was using his UTAG for? To enrich himself? Indeed, the chicken has come home to roost. From Baba Chairman, he says, the hypocrisy with some of these so-called neutrals and bootlickers is becoming nauseating and annoying. And if people like Prof. Jampo are given sensitive positions, only God knows what they would be doing where they are. Shadrach says, Africans don't talk when eating. Not surprised. It's the labor union we should blame. Government like a business person will want to pay less to make profits. Bright Edu Asari says, this person calls himself a professor. Kwabna Bwampong says, Ghana is a sad country because how can a serious country like Ghana even have time to employ someone like Jampo who was blackmailing ladies for sex before they get grades. From Emmanuel Owusu, he says, that's Ghana for you. Bryce Eduasare again says, may someone ask the professor if he understands delegation of powers. Isaka said, let the dust settle in 6 months and we will see what Ghana will get from the NDC. Atua Rahman says, he's just monitoring the system. And lastly, from Baba Chairman, he says, Paul, the least talked of Prof. Jampo, the better. He has proven to the whole world that all the cacophony of noise he was engaged in, that's all the cacophony of noise he was engaged in. Over to you, Paul.
All right, let's talk to NUGS now, and let me begin with you, NUGS. NUGS and PTA are both with us tonight. What's the problem? I see your demonstration say, WAEC, Yabre demo. When is it happening?
It's happening on Tuesday.
Next week, Tuesday.
Next week, Tuesday.
Okay, and you are inviting all students to join?
All students to join.
Because
we have a major challenge with WAEC. WAEC released the 2024 WASI results on the 29th of December 2024. And my research team sent me a paper which showed a very worrying trend. Several cancelled results and even more withheld results. So on the 2nd of January 2025, I wrote to WAEC to seek audience on these issues, and I listed the issues I had with the report that I had from my research team on their report. They invited us on the 10th of January. And we met with them, we met with their team, their head of legal, head of corporate affairs, head of more practice. And they assured us that yes, they are doing due diligence because they believe these students have cheated. And yes, WAEC must do their work. And we agreed with them that they should do their due diligence, but it's an investigation. Some people may be innocent. In that regard, they should ensure that there should be a speedy process because you have already released the bulk of the results, so that those who may be innocent will be able to also meet the admission window, because admission had opened and schools were admitting.
When WAEC does that, haven't they gone through a thorough process to come to that conclusion?
That is what I just couldn't understand.
Is there history where they have withheld some of these results and it turned out that the person's results...
Several.
How do they find out?
So
when how do they get it back?
So when they withhold the results, they are now coming to do further investigation. So when they now
before they do, so they withhold on suspicion.
Yes, okay. Suspicion of collusion.
Okay.
So by that time they would have released all those that they feel there is nothing, and they are going through the admission process. There is a classical case in one school I don't want to mention. 2 years ago, she wrote her exams. One of the papers was withheld. So she waited. She didn't get it. By the time the result was released, she had an A, but the admissions had closed in all the public universities.
It was released back that after the findings it's okay?
Yes.
Hey, and it's released at the time when she can't go with her mates?
Exactly. No, they were all gone. So she now had to look for admission. She got admission in a private university because by that time,
the public is gone.
The public, as we speak, all the public universities, they are in their 3rd week, 4th week.
And but have you complained to the Ministry of Education for that matter?
We had written, we had met with all these stakeholders. We are now seeking, because of the change of government, during this period, a lot of things were happening. We didn't have a minister. I now was engaging with WAEC as I was speaking. I met with them on the 10th. They wrote back to us on the 17th that they were still in the process. And all this while, many people think NUGS is known for a looter and we just get up and then we do all these kind of things. But, Paul, we had gone through very civil process with WAEC. And I didn't know it would end here. I was thinking per our engagement and the cordiality, they would have done the needful, get this thing done, but it wasn't happening. So on the 28th of January, we held a press conference, and we made it clear that we are realizing that they are taking us for a ride. We are engaging with you, we are talking with you, but nothing is happening. Admissions at that time was closed. That was what made us wake up. And we told them in 7 days, whatever investigations they were doing, they should finish it. And you see, their response leaves me very worried. Because when they come out, they try to throw dust in the eyes of people that if people have copied, shouldn't they do due diligence?
Yes, they should, but the timing.
Exactly. Oh, I even believe, and I believe that should be the position of the law, that whatever due diligence they are doing now should be part of the examining of the scripts process. So they should not even release any results until they have gone through the entire process.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because what they have done now,
so that they don't disadvantage a 70-year-old,
created a lot of mental health issues.
I can't believe
for
that.
the students of
But how
government.
come the Ministry of Education is not able to call this to order and sort it out? I can't understand it.
It's-
Doesn't the minister pay WAEC?
You know, WAEC is more of an autonomous body.
Yes, but the Ministry of Education pays WAEC for
for
the
the
exams
work
that
that
they
they do,
conducted.
yes.
So if you pay them and they are jeopardizing the life of your young people, you can't say anything about it.
I believe that the ministry is taking notice of it.
The notice is not enough at all.
I've
Maybe you should direct your
on the-
demonstration to the ministry.
Yes, to the ministry at a time when.
But does WAEC have a contract with you? They may not.
No, they have a contract with our students.
Is it not with the
Every
ministry?
student, no. Every student.
Who did they release the results to?
To the students.
To the parents and the students.
Individual, not the school.
Yes, because you know every student registers.
No, but when I was in school, WAEC doesn't release the results to me. It goes to PRESEC. I have
Yes,
to go there.
exactly. But at this time,
And
no.
PRESEC can withhold my results if I've
Yes.
not paid my fees.
But now it's
So the
released-
contract was with PRESEC, not with me, the individual.
Now it's
Now it's
also-
different.
It's with
Individual.
the student.
One person.
Yes.
So you can check your results online.
Online.
Because
So if you haven't paid your fees to PRESEC,
Yes.
oh, it's free SHS. Sorry, I
SHS,
forgot.
exactly.
Okay.
And you see,
okay, all
even the worst part is they are also cancelling some of the results. And they, the same WAEC, closed their remedial registration for this year on the 7th of January.
And you still don't have your results.
And you
to
don't have it.
register or
And
not.
some of them, they are saying, okay, we found evidence of collusion, we have cancelled it. But you have closed remedial. So it means that I have to wait next year to register and go to
Maybe
school
a legal
next 2
action.
years.
A legal action will work.
Yes.
Let me talk to PTA, boss. What's your from your angle? How do you see it?
Okay, Paul, parents are going through hell
I can imagine.
because, you know, I hope you are equally a parent. It's not easy taking care of somebody from Form 1 up to Form 3 in secondary school with this private studies and so on and so forth. For him to finish and finally being told your results has either been cancelled or withheld. What happened this year was that, and the reason why we are so serious this time is that WAEC is becoming unbecoming. Paul, you are in the media, and I know anything about education, you are passionate of it. For the last 10 years, WAEC has been cancelling results based on one reason or the other. Other papers has leaked, so you cancel the results, come and write again. Sometimes people have done a poll, and so you are canceling your paper. Sometimes you have seen similarities in the answering of questions, and therefore students' results has been cancelled. What you are saying is that you can't allow these things to be continued, because as Ghanaians, we need to protect our integrity first place. We are within the community of West Africa and possibly Africa and the whole world. If it is something that every year students of Ghana has to suffer one way or the other, and when they say they cancel your results, they won't come and say identify you for admonitory that your results has been cancelled, or Thomas Kujo, your results has been cancelled. So if I find myself in Nigeria, how would they know I was part of?
So how do you hear that your results have been cancelled?
Yes, the whole thing is that what happened this year was that after total aggregation, that 20% has passed, 30% has failed, 10% results have been held. They started testing you. What happened is that we realized that others' results are not coming. So, as a body, for my school, where I'm represented in West Region, GSCS. What happened is that you wrote to our old students to help us to find out what is happening from WAEC. So the old student wrote through a lawyer to WAEC, demanding the results of those withheld results. Then WAEC wrote to our school that this is what is happening. They've realized some impasses, and therefore they are checking. Until then, the school where they took the exams is not aware
that they are even investigating.
Exactly, they are not aware of anything at all. Other malpractice has happened as at that time. So we waited for 2 weeks without hearing anything. So as a parent of that school, we consulted a lawyer to write to them. And 3 weeks after this time, WAEC has not replied. But we realized that WAEC is not doing us a favor. We are providing
a service, yes,
for us to pay for.
Yeah.
And you realize that over the years, Ghanaians' attention is not there. Every day they do what they want, and they are not ready to even to create modalities that will resolve that problem. Because the lazy approach, what they do is that they feel that at their own discretion, if they think there's something went on wrong, their easy way is that you cancel. But Paul, you are all went to the school. Sometimes that is why Kusibuni is not stupid. We need not to get 100 for you to get A. Sometimes you get 70 or 80 for you to get A. I know only gonna at our time 70 gives you A. So if you think question 3 that I had a Paul, what do? You can cancel the question 3, and I still can get 60 for me to get my C or B. So why do you cancel everything? Again, they cancel. On what basis do you have to cancel? Because exams sometimes in 3 parts. You have the objectives, you have the theory, and you have practicals. Which one did I do that for? If I did that for in theory, and
when they come to the conclusion that APO was used, do they, as the lawyers say, so moto on their own?
On their own.
Make that determination.
Exactly.
Nothing more, nothing less. They look at it and say, this is APO cancelled.
Exactly.
Oh, that's arbitrary.
Exactly.
For the first time, when we challenged them, they started having hearings. And they started.
Do they have law and legal departments at WAEC?
Yeah, they have.
No. When we met them, we met their head of legal.
And the lawyers feel this is okay.
And all of a sudden, they
one person can
and
constitute himself and decide that an individual and got a
WAEC sets the questions.
Yes.
They mark. They make a determination whether you have copied. And then they do the adjudication and pass judgment. One person.
Oh, that's arbitrary.
You are the prosecutor.
That's too arbitrary.
You are the judge. You are the prison warden. You are everything.
That's a violation of Article 296.
There is even another portion also. Yes, and I've raised it to them. There is even another portion where some students engage in a malpractice in a particular paper, but they end up cancelling all their papers they have written.
Yes.
Oh,
because
maybe geography.
But that one, if there's conclusive evidence that you have malpractice in geography, it stands to reason that the others be cancelled.
It stands to reason, but it's not conclusive.
Not all. For
it's
example,
not conclusive.
I went to write tree.
Exactly. You do use Apple.
And I went in with a mobile phone. Because I went in, it is not because of just the Apple. If you went in with a piece of paper, for their rules, that one, tree will be cancelled.
Yeah, but extraneous matters should not come into the exam.
If you went in with a phone, they will cancel the tree, cancel the maths, cancel the English, cancel the...
Yes, if you violate one of them, but they should say that's in the contract. That if you violate any of the exam rules, all your results will be cancelled. Every subject will be cancelled. That's allowed. But when they make the decision by themselves, I think that's a violation of Article 296.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
That the paper that they are dealing with should be taken care of.
Exactly.
But you have a certain character. That you like to copy.
It's always the case that don't you take gobe? It's always that you take gobe every day. So if you have seen me
my
once,
taking gobe is not a character, it's a desire. But this one, you're evincing a characterization that this is who you are. You like to steal.
Yes.
So we don't know whether you also stole in physics and chemistry. No, we can't know.
Exactly. That is why.
You don't take that.
Exactly. You don't take that.
Because the name of
and
the
again, that one they have to put in the contract.
And again,
that if you are found to have cheated in one paper, all the papers will be cancelled.
But
it should be a major deterrent.
No, but I don't even agree to that.
We can argue.
Yes, because the whole thing is that is why you have your policemen. That is why you have supervisors.
They have the vigilances with you.
Exactly.
So it's your failure.
Exactly.
It's a systemic failure.
Everybody, including you and me, has a degree of deviant in you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So that's why the law enforcement.
Exactly.
So if you don't enforce the law.
Exactly. If you don't put in the measures, tendency for everybody to steal is there, including me.
When they say steal, do they mean that you brought a book into the exam or you're talking to your friend?
In this case, what they are saying is they are seeing similarities
in the answer.
In the answers.
In wrong answers or correct answers?
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Similarities in wrong answers is cheating.
Exactly.
But similarity in correct answers is not cheating.
It's also cheating. According to
that cannot be. That's not a prima facie.
Exactly.
A prima facie cheating is wrong.
Yes.
Wrong answers that you all use. That's prima facie you've copied.
Yes.
But correct answer, it's not prima facie that you've copied.
Yes.
And well, it also depends on the subject.
And I also ask people, you are certain questions you all know when you are young in secondary school, like what is matter? If you have 100 students in class, they are likely to write the same. What is factors of production? If you have 100 students in a
factors
class,
of production.
Production.
Yeah, I remember that land.
Yeah, land entrepreneurship, capital, those things.
Capital. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, but that one you can't say anybody has copied.
Exactly.
It's a list of things.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that these are the things that can happen. For you to tell me that somebody has copied, a matter is anything that occupies space and that. You've been saying these things. Reconciliation, if you are counting student up to 1 to 4, 5 for A level, anything about reconciliation, it's likely the person will answer. You get about 80% of those in the class answering.
In the same way.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that, Paul, even in a modern way, Ghana, people are sitting at home and writing PhD. People are sitting at home and writing masters. This is the case, these boys, they don't sit at home. You provided a place for them to come and write the exam.
Like I get the point you're making. People are writing the exam from their home.
Yes. Yeah. And getting, when we are in the Legon, how many people can say I have 2 masters? Today, you see politicians, you see people saying you have 2 masters, I have 3 masters.
Yeah, they all have 3 masters.
Yes.
How did they get it?
Yeah, be somewhere.
When you are so busy.
When you are so busy. These politicians are so busy,
yes,
then they have PhD.
Exactly.
Before you see everybody's doctor.
Everybody lawyer.
How happened?
So
when did they do it?
I'll partner you to do research in these things. Because 15 years ago, 14 to 16 years ago that I'm doing masters at Legon, they will have to suffer before even finish. I
remember.
Today, people are sitting at home and getting masters and PhD.
Yeah, so
masters. Why do you choose a venue for somebody with your invigilators and your two examiners, and at the end of the day, you say you copied? And those no remedy.
And always the punishment is on the student.
On the student.
Have you ever heard
that's also
that
important.
WAEC is punishing their chief examiners, their invigilators?
Yeah. But the apport thing comes from WAEC. The apport comes from WAEC's people.
Yes.
The apport doesn't come from us.
That's what I said. You
comes
said
from
the
them.
questions.
Yeah, they have staff of them who lead the apport and all of that.
You are paying the invigilators.
I'm joining the demonstration. When is it?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
No, I'll be there. So demonstration starting from where?
Starting from Brasport.
And so give the route.
Yeah, is that it? WAEC, Yabre demo.
Yes.
Are you presenting petition? Yes, please, let's hear you.
Okay, so I'm the chairman for Legal and Student Rights Committee. And I was in charge of receiving petitions from students. And for one thing that is very, very surprising, on the 8th of this month, through WAEC's Public Affairs Directory, they issue a statement that all withheld results will be released by 28th of this month. And I've sent that to your producer. He can show you today. That is coming from, it was published on Graphic Online. So even when we started this agitation that we are going for demonstration on the 25th, people were asking us, I was on your news yesterday, they were asking, WAEC said they will release it 28th, so why don't you wait? You are doing, but then WAEC is also inviting students to attend to an interview for investigations. And this evening, 2 students sent me text message that they've received from WAEC that they are to attend investigations, or they are to avail themselves for investigation on 28th of this month. So it tells you that all that they are doing is a charade. They just want to tell people that, oh, we are investigating. And like you said, they are justice in their own case. So they invite you, you come and it asks you to write a paper just to, make you accomplice, because you've come and then you've put in something down that you wrote that and said this and that happened. What we are saying is that there are a lot of reforms that WAEC can do in this modern Ghana. Paul, at some places, when you enter into the exam hall, there are cameras. So WAEC can put camera for 3-hour paper. So if you don't put your camera there, or if you don't on your camera, at the end of the exam, we know that it's a rule. You fail. And then number 2, over the years, like you said in your school, PRESEC, you see that the invigilators are teachers from PRESEC.
Yes,
the only thing they do is that if you are a mathematics teacher, you will not invigilate maths. You go to the humanities, whatever it is.
Oh no, he comes at the beginning to explain the questions if there's a problem. Then he goes away.
So Paul, why don't we do it this way? WAEC employs the invigilators. So you are coming from PRESEC, you're a teacher at PRESEC. But then you will not invigilate at PRESEC. You go to Accra Academy. Because if you are invigilating at PRESEC,
you know them, yeah.
you have interest. Because you want PRESEC to you even be an old boy, you want them to score. So why don't we say, okay, if you are an invigilator from PRESEC, you will not be at PRESEC. You go and invigilate, because you choose, not all teachers apply to be invigilators. You choose to do that as an extra income. So if you are applying for invigilator, okay, you'll be at, but you go to Achimota. Would this thing continue? You see, this is what WAEC is not doing.
But what happens now? PRESEC people invigilate PRESEC.
PRESEC, yes. The only thing is that
I see.
If you are teaching mathematics, you go and invigilate maybe English or home economics. Or
but you are a PRESEC teacher.
You are a PRESEC teacher.
You are invigilating PRESEC.
Yes, and then at the end of this thing,
Maybe they don't want the children to be tensed.
At the end of it, they will bring. So why do they bring the police?
I want them to fail.
No, they want them to be tense, so they want them to have familiar people when they are
writing the exam. No, they bring police. Sometimes they bring police.
Sometimes police will
yes, police will.
What are the police coming to do?
They don't want them to be tense, but I want them to fail or cancel their papers.
So what we are saying is that now, WAEC, you've employed the invigilator. Invigilator says, "Kojo man who has copied. He has bring you a report. The invigilator is an agent of the WAEC. So by extension, he's working for you. So you go and compose a committee and you invite only the students. You are a complainant, investigator, prosecutor, a judge, and then the prison warden. The prison warden is when they cancel your results, the only avenue you have is to go and register with WAEC and write an deck. So you think, yes, you think they don't have any interest?
Yeah, because that's more money.
Exactly.
Yes. So they should never be allowed to determine cancellation because they have so much interest.
Yes, and we have GS, which has got a lot of branches at the district level. They are there. Now, when they even cancel when they even want to invite you, you have to come to the district regional capital. Somebody is in Oti, and maybe is somewhere they have to cross river and go to Dambai. I received a call from a parent that they've received a text message. She's in Kaswa with the son, but then the son schooled in Water region. So they have to go to Ho to just go and meet WAEC for interrogation, and then so that they will know whether, and they will not even tell them that you've come, okay, we've looked into your case, we are going to, and when they go there, something happened in Cape Coast. They invited a school that they are English, they've withheld it, and they said all of them copied, and they had similar answers, which were wrong, they deviated. Then the teacher asked them that they should bring the question, and then so that they will compare the answers if indeed they deviated. And then when the WAEC says they don't have a past question of the 2024, so the teacher had to pull it from the online, and it was summary. Summary. So it is the same passage. We are just making some points out of it. So how would you tell me that this one passage, which maybe has about maybe 5 paragraphs, and then we have to summarize and give it a title? Yours will not be similar to my summary. It's not composition.
It will be similar.
Yes, it is not letter writing that write a letter to your friend. That will say dear Paul. Somebody have to say dear Kofi or whatever. It is summary. So what WAEC is doing, because of the autonomy, because of the monopoly they've gained, that is why they are doing this. They only, as we speak now, on the 31st, there was a court ruling. Some students took WAEC. Martin Pebu, your friend, was their counsel.
Oh, good.
And he had judgment that WAEC should release all the results. WAEC went to court on the 3rd.
To stop it?
To stop, yes. They filed a stay of execution. God being so great, today, there is a court ruling by High Court. The High Court has set away their stay of execution.
So they are compelled now to release their results.
They are compelled now, but instead of them to do that, they are still inviting students. And you are telling us that you will release the entire results by 28. So 28 is the final day. But on the same 28, you are conducting investigations. So it is much ado about nothing. It is something like something to represent something.
It's a confusing issue.
So the root, you want to hear
him? Let me hear him as well. And then there's a Latin maxim called "Nemo Judas in Cosa Sua." You cannot be a judge.
You can be a judge in your own.
Look at this, what WAEC is doing.
Yes.
Honestly speaking, it's a very big blow to the student, especially denying them access to the various universities. Now, WAEC used to do receipt examinations November, December. We call it NUGS. Now, 31st of December on their website, they release a circular to the general public that this time they are going to conduct their receipt examination January and February. By then, they have withheld all this result that we are talking about. Now, the student, by fear of knowing that my result has been withheld, rushes to register with their private examinations. So now, this February, WAEC conducted receipt exams, and majority of these people who are having their results withheld had to register with them. But the question is, the teacher that invigilates WAEC's, examination, becomes an employee within that short time, is an employee of WAEC. Now, the examiner who is now being given the script to mark is also an employee. Now, the examiner, after going through the examination now, is saying that there has been some what you call collusion or malpractices. Now, the examiner, who is also an employer of WAEC, is blaming the invigilator that he didn't do his work well. Then the one to suffer is the innocent student. This is not fair. This is injustice. And then majority of our students are sitting idle in the house, looking on to their fellow students in the various universities. It is torture. They are going through trauma and psychological, unstableness. That is what we are saying, that WAEC should, as a matter of urgency, release. And right now, they released the 10 in bit with the case of GSTS. Last week, Thursday, what they did was
the body of Christ.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's own kind of life received into the spirit of a man. Whoa! This divine life
employees that we are tired. Please get a new examining body so that they can take over from us. Then from there, we'll go to the Ministry of Education, we'll present a petition, and we'll present solutions to the problem, because this issue of examination or practice has been there, but WAEC looks unconcerned because the only remedy they have is cancellation of paper. How are we preventing that?
Point.
No, the Obra Sport.
I mean, Independence Square is the conclusion.
Yes, it's the conclusion.
That's where you're ending.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds very interesting. Okay, we'll leave it here and we'll join your demonstration. Of course, we'll give you absolute coverage for
Paul,
it.
I have two recommendations from Ezali.
Yeah.
Now you have a lot of human resources in that, and you have a lot of professors. We can set another para exam board.
We have a lot of professors who can do the questions.
Exactly.
A lot of them. Cape Coast University alone has
a lot. The technical universities has a lot now. The traditional universities has a lot now. And again, you want a committee, independent committee, to be set to look into this mass cancellation of resource. These are the two recommendations that you want from government or Ministry of Education.
Ghanaian students from the NUGS president. We are fighting this for Ghanaian students. And we believe that this year will be the last.
Exactly.
That we are going to put our students. And so Ghanaian students should be rest assured. The affected students, we believe that we are going to get some justice for them. And those who are now coming, who are going to write, who are watching what is happening and don't know what will be their fate, we believe that, I'm hoping that by tomorrow I will have some engagement at the ministry as well, and also see some of the solutions that we'll be able to put forward.
Absolutely. Okay, so Tuesday we'll join the demonstration. We'll also be on Good Evening Ghana on Tuesday night. That's it for the show. It's 18 minutes past the top of the hour. I love you. Sorry for keeping you 18 minutes beyond the regular closing time. Thanks for watching and good night.